Welcome back, Outfunders. The markets are closed for the week of May the 31st, the final trading day of May, and we will now be moved on to June. So let's take a look at what went on this short trading week. Monday, the market was closed. So Tuesday, we had a nice little higher open, pulled back, a little bit of up, bullish push there into the middle part of the day, and we kind of had a little bit of a rollover there until about the last hour. Nice little bullish pop off the session lows. Nice little gap down here on Wednesday, looking pretty good. A little bit of a bullish run, but it was flat though, choppy for most of that day. Just a little bit of a bullish run there for about an hour, but it was just flat and choppy sideways for most of that day on Wednesday. Nice little gap down here on Thursday. A little bit of a lower push. Nice little run that we had until kind of early afternoon, then basically drop into the close. Then Friday morning, nice little gap up, and then we just kind of dropped off until kind of early midday, and then that was it. We just kind of went on a nice little rally all the way until the end of the day, especially the last 30 minutes. A very strong rally here into the end of the day, and it's kind of what I was we were talking about throughout the week. Like, hey, we were looking for some pullbacks. And we had been getting them across the RSP, the DIA, and the IWM until then we got to Thursday, and then those started doing actually somewhat decent. And then the Qs started getting into some pullback selling type of moves. And the Qs actually did get hit pretty good there on Thursday and Friday before this afternoon rally kind of happened. So, we'll take a look at some of that stuff, incorporate it, and talk about it. But some of the stuff that we did get this week, Thursday morning, we got some updates to Q1 GDP growth numbers. It actually came in a little bit less than what was originally announced, and it came in at 1.3, which I think the original number was 1.6. So obviously that's a little bit of a reduction there on the number for Q1. We also got some PCE data out, which inflation was a little bit down compared to what the previous statement was. We also got some initial jobless claims, which just is a little bit higher than what they were, forecasting for, and a little higher than what the previous week it had. So there you go. And then on Friday we had some inflation data as well, some more PCE stuff, which about in line with where it's been for forecasts and prior month for the core PCE and the PCE as well. So not all kind of great going on out there, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been, I guess. All right, take a look here at the VIX for the week. And yeah, we had a nice little continuation higher from, off the lows that we had put in late last week. Nice little pop for the first half of the week. And then, we got a nice little drop off there, especially Friday. You can see how much the VIX really kind of dropped off at the end of the day. So, yeah, midday Friday, we were kind of talking about on live stream, were we just going to chop sideways? Because we were back up here on the VIX for Friday, midday. But yeah, you can see how much it dropped off. So, was this a quick pop on the VIX? Now we're going to come back down, which would lead us to be bullish, right? That's going to lead us to be bullish. All right, take a look at the DXY, the dollar index. Nice little lower wick on the day. All right, just might be in a choppy spot. Be curious to see what happens here. We didn't quite take out this lower wick from Tuesday, so yeah, it might take a couple more days to kind of figure out what's kind of going on there. GLD, the gold trust, kind of just mostly consolidated for most of the week. A little bit of a breakdown look there on Friday. But if you do look at the futures actually tell you a little bit different story. They actually don't look too bad, but it still might roll over. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have more pullbacks, but I would still just rather be bullish on pullbacks. Not really wanting to be like super leveraged, but if we get a pullback, especially down to these highs down here, I would like that a lot. All right, 10-year yield. Really watching them yields. Start out the week, they actually were pretty aggressive. Tuesday and Wednesday pushed really strong, got above these highs, and then Thursday, Friday pulled back right to these highs that we had kind of the beginning part of May, right into those moving averages as well. So is this spot okay? We broke higher. We're gonna pull back real quick, and then we continue higher. Yeah, I mean possible. I mean it really is possible. So we'll find out probably pretty quick this next week. Was this a pullback and retest into these previous highs on the yields, and then we're just going to go higher, or was this kind of like a false breakout? We just retested maybe into these lows that we had back in late April, and now we're going to break down. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting look this next week to figure out what yields are going to do. And taking a look at that 10-2 inversion, not really too much kind of went on there today. But this week, I mean, we popped pretty strong there on the 10-2 inversion. It had just kind of gotten sleepy and just kind of dropped off there for much of the middle part of May. But yeah, this past week, a nice pop there Tuesday, Wednesday on this thing. HYG, a lot of the bonds had some pretty good drops there to start the week. Obviously, with yields popping pretty hard. So, but they got a nice little bounce back here as yields dropped Thursday and Friday. So it's an interesting one, kind of like how I was saying on yields. Like which way is it going to go? Do we break higher? Now we're pulling back, retesting, going higher, or do we make a run to kind of a previous spot on the yields, and then we're going to break that down? So yeah, you can't really pick one way is right or one way is wrong. It's going to be just make sure you have your stop losses in for however you're going to try and play that. Same thing here for the LQD. We had that breakdown to start the week, bounced all the way back up. It's kind of where this high was. That's where these lows were. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one this next week to figure out what are yields and bonds going to do. Same thing here for the TLT. Nice little bounce up here. And yeah, I mean that's all we got. We got a nice little bounce drop off though to start the week. Jesus. All right, taking a look at sector rotation for the week. We do have some pretty good movement throughout the week. I mean, there was a lot of things kind of crossing over, especially mid part of the week. Tech was doing pretty good up until Thursday, and then they started getting hit pretty good. And you see how Tech just kind of dropped off there, especially going into Friday. A lot of semiconductors getting hit pretty good there. Salesforce got hit pretty good there on Thursday on earnings. So yeah, we got some tech guys getting hit pretty good there on Friday as well. So tech big underperformers for the week. Industrials, healthcare kind of in line with the market there. You also got financials, materials, discretionary, staples, communications outperforming the market, and utilities, real estate, and energies up at the weekly high. All right, taking a look at the RSP. I would not be surprised if we just continue to grind higher. Obviously, we have a very strong day looking there on Friday. We have pulled into this kind of uptrending line, right? And that's kind of where we bounce Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, I'll just continue to be bullish. We were kind of talking about that Wednesday, Thursday. Even Tuesday when we were selling down, like this is going to be a pretty good spot right here to be bullish on RSP. It's kind of where it got to. Also interconnected right with this uptrending line. So yeah, there you go. RSP looking pretty good. Yeah, same thing for the DIA, Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF here. Just had a little bit more of a pull down, especially going into Thursday, that gap down. But that was it. It didn't go any farther. Other than that, the DIA did pretty well there on Friday, up 1.6% on the day. Not looking too bad. Just kind of surprised it pulled down as much as it did here Wednesday, Thursday. And the IWM, yeah, I mean, it had a decent pullback to start the week. Tuesday, Wednesday. Would have liked to have seen it kind of come down to this level around 200, but didn't quite get there. Kind of just bounced there at 202. Doesn't look too bad. Nice little huge lower wick there on Friday. Looks pretty good. I would expect to probably continue higher as we go into next week. Qs, look at that huge lower wick there on the Qs. Qs were getting hit really hard on Friday until obviously that last 2 hours, especially that last 30-minute rally that we had. Yeah, that was a pretty good spot, right into the previous all-time high area. That was where you were really wanting to see it, and it's kind of funny how it happened so quick. We went from the all-time closing high on Tuesday to quickly pulling back into those previous all-time high by Friday midday. SPY looks pretty good. Yep. Also checked into that previous all-time high. It looks pretty good. Took us a couple days to get there, even a little bit deeper there on Friday, but it looks pretty good. Closed above the moving averages by the end of the day. I would say we're probably just going to continue to move higher. I don't know if we're going to be just ripping higher, but I would imagine we at least go higher this next week. That makes the most sense to me. Alpha Hunters, have a great weekend. Take care.